so good to see you.
It is amazing to be here. And we are kicking off this conversation today with Speaking of Kids.
Speaking of kids, I am excited about it. Before we get started, thank you so much for the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation year 54 for having us.
54.
Wow. Of all of that. And I think it's perfect because we are talking about Speaking of Kids. So tell us more about it.
And it's we're in a moment right now, right? Like there's a lot of things going on.
Yep.
And really the purpose of Speaking of Kids, it's a podcast hosted by First Focus on Children.
Oh, okay.
We are a DC-based child advocacy organization that really works on all issues impacting kids.
Right.
And so we do that at the federal level. And right now, there's so much from health to early childhood to family economics to child welfare. We heard, from foster youth yesterday.
We did. That was a great panel.
It was an amazing panel. And so really what Speaking of Kids is trying to do is to elevate the conversation and get people from just even outside the Beltway to really understand how federal policy, state level policy, even local level decisions really do impact families and children.
Right. I mean, I think you all do noble work, and I think the fact that you added the podcast is even more exciting.
It is more exciting. It is more exciting, and we have such great guests. And one of the guests that we're teasing up today is you.
Oh,
you're representing for all the aunties.
All the aunties.
You were on the show representing for all the aunties.
Is this what the kids do now?
Girl, don't ask me. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But I'm so glad that we were able to have that conversation because you talked about what it meant to you to be an aunt raising a nephew and nieces in this current environment.
I mean, also, I think one of the important things about it, and the episode will be coming out in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But listen to the podcast before then.
Correct.
But I think it's so important that we actually had that episode, and thank you so much for having me as a guest, as an auntie, because our kids are asking, like when I am in a current transition at the moment, like the first thing that the children in my life had were concerns about like what's going to happen with TT, because they were so tuned in to our current moment. And so I think it's so important for us to continue to have that conversation and highlight that, it's community-based. It's not just the parents who are doing this. So shout out to all our parents.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the recent conversations that I had was with the executive director who leads the 10 News. It's actually a podcast for kids, designed for kids. Because right now there's so much complexity in what's going on that it's hard to figure out what's developmentally appropriate to share.
Right.
So this is tailored towards them, and they actually dictate it. They have a whole peer review of young kids from across the country that,
I love that.
So this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to learn about.
Great. So, can you tell us a little bit about some of the campaigns that you are doing outside of the podcast?
Outside of the podcast. Yeah, we have a big push right now to save Medicaid, to save SNAP. A lot of families from around the world, like these were programs that were designed to be temporary, but the reality is it's hard, And these programs, now that they're going to go away and be cut, these are going to have real implications for families that are already just trying to put food on their table, already just trying to afford childcare.
Right. So listen, I think we actually jumped the gun, and I want to make sure that everybody knows who you are.
Oh, yes.
And please repeat the organization that we are, you're doing this wonderful work for. And then we can continue on to the project, because I think
we were so excited. We just ran right in like you were supposed to know who we were.
Right.
Yeah. So I am Messellech Adebe. I serve as Chief Operating Officer of First Focus on Children.
Yes, and I'm Juana Silverio, longtime advocate and also a podcast host and a TT, which is why I am here with Messellech.
Yes. And also, I think now's a good time to pivot because we're also talking about
Oh, wow. My podcast called Jane Transit.
That was so seamless. We did that. Yeah,
Girl.
We did it.
So yes, we're talking about Jay in Transit. It is a podcast that continues to foster community. I started it back in 2020 during, at the height or start of the pandemic, in an effort for us to continue to talk about how we are creating community, even though we were isolating in those times. I do have some lost episodes, which is why I'm here. That I'm about to post.
We have to recreate them.
Yes.
Well, we need to not recreate them. Like,
we're posting them.
Yeah, we're dusting them off.
We're dusting them off.
Yeah.
The thing about the Jay in Transit is that it talked to so many different experts before. It was like a retail entrepreneur who actually started her physical retail office during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
It is a campaign strategist who, has been doing this for years and, at this time is still continuing that fight and in a different form, right? But just going through those past conversations on my previous episodes, it seems as if we're still in that time today. And I think that that's why it was important for me to start Jay in Transit, because we are continuously, as a community, as people, transitioning. And some of these conversations are not being had. Which brings me to you. And this is why, yes. So we're going to tease your episode just a little bit so folks can get an idea of how the conversation usually goes on Jay in Transit. But I mean, we're also open to ideas as we go along. But listen, so I'm going through a big transition. We don't have to talk about mine.
I see what you did there.
But it is a transition period.
Yeah.
And, you are now a single mom, in essence, in your household, single household mom with 3 beautiful children. Can you tell us a little bit about how that's impacting you, especially as you are still the, chief operating officer for this amazing organization?
Yeah, I mean, I love that you're doing this podcast, and I've encouraged you to really launch it because everyone's always going through transition. And it's something that really, I feel like I keep remembering. I have constant aha moments where I'm realizing that there's never an end game here. Like, this is just life. Like, there's not going to be a pause where you can vacation for 6 months and then hit play. I know. I'm trying to get there.
Okay, play soon.
Right. But even then, right? Like, you're always going through ebbs and flows. And so, for me, I just got through a divorce. And for anyone that has been through a divorce, it is, if you have gone through a divorce and it's been pleasant and, it's been seamless and it has had no disruption in your life, like, you're an outlier that has a direct line to Jesus. And in a way that I don't, but I do think, as with any lessons, is what they teach you, is what they teach you, because it's change is inevitable. And
and let's talk about what change has looked like for you, right? Because I can say how long the marriage was, but I'm sure it was very even night and day on how you had to change your lifestyle to suit not continuing to be a career woman, but also take care of your family and you on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's you just take it day by day. Okay. And I've had I ran into a few girlfriends even here, and one of them was like, you look great, and I'm like, thank you, because you'll take any level of a compliment. You're like, it's a shower. I showered today. Like, I got dressed.
Okay, I get it.
But it's really, I always say Jesus, therapy, and community in that order. Because when you're going through a change that's very difficult, something that you were really, sometimes there are changes that you may see coming, or changes that you can control the pace, or, whatever it is. But some changes it's an adjustment,
Right.
so even for me, what it looked like was, what do I want to watch on TV?
Right. Ooh, yeah.
Right,
because you do share like certain things, even if it's just a roommate, like you
right,
share some
like how do you
level-
change a filter,
Oh,
like a house filter? I think
I
I
don't
almost
know.
like blew up my HVAC system.
No, it's just like, I don't know.
It's like
I've
little
never had to.
adjustments, like how
Okay.
do you adjust to 3-on-1?
Oh, right.
And we have we share custody because it's 3 of them,
Right.
and
Right.
that's a lot.
That
So
is a lot.
I during the breaks, what do you do? How do you fill that time?
I think that I would love to focus a little bit more on the breaks, right? Because I think that is where you get to maybe, like, for lack of a better word, snatch yourself up and see, like, what adjustments you need to make for when, the babies come back. So what has that break looked like for you as you are healing?
It's been a process. Like
Yeah.
it really has been a process. It's been things like curating a kid-free evening, making sure, and this is where that third one hits, and I'm so grateful to have community, to have a network of family and friends.
Yeah.
I have also, I'm going to put on a different hat that I wear, is I serve on the board of District Motherhood.
Yes, I'm
Shout
so glad
out
you
to
brought
Black
it up.
moms.
Do it again.
Because we do it. We do it. We do it. We do it. We do it.
Absolutely. Yes, you do.
Yeah,
Yes,
we do
you
it. And that network is what helps, right? Because it's a text message when you're just like having a really rough moment,
Wow.
or a phone call, or it's been having a plan of what to do on a weekend, or even when I do have the kids,
Right.
because you're just readjusting to this new normal.
Way
And
of
and
life.
when you are a mom, you have to hold it together, right? So you need to
Yeah.
really pour into yourself. And I think when you have community, when you have girlfriends, I'm blessed to have a lot of amazing men in my life too, uncles, brothers, cousins. But women, we just hit different.
A little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'd love to hear a little bit more about, well, not a little bit more, but like, could you tell us what superpower you have been leaning more towards in this time, if at all? And if that is like a word that we want to also eradicate from our life, we can. But I do think that, you are a superwoman.
I think really, and I think I will receive that. I had somebody watch my children yesterday, and when I got home, I was like, wow, like you can really tell things are not in order. And again, no shade, because it's 3 of them, correct? But then I thought, wow, like you do this and it's seamless, and the dishwasher's running and all the dishes are put away, and there's a structure and a routine, and that is a superpower, right? Just like being able to navigate life.
Right.
But for me, I've really been leaning on joy and gratitude. Really, I feel like your mindset and your perspective is everything, especially when you're going through change.
Right.
I recently was listening to a podcast, and there was a gentleman on there that said, pain plus reflection equals progress. And I was like, wow.
How'd that hit? Because for me, it's like going through my body a little bit, like, where am I feeling it most?
And that's an effort, right? To really pay attention.
Yeah.
Again, number 2 was therapy. And having somebody help you tease out, because in any situation, it's easy to blame something else, right? It's
Correct.
easy to say, this didn't work out because of this.
Right.
And all of that could very well be accurate and true. However, you can only control what you can control. And you can only control you. I can't even control my kids. You want to, but they are their own independent beings. God has them first.
Independent.
Yeah,
being.
independent. My 3-year-old is like, his new phrase is, no way. No way.
Oh my gosh, I remember showing up to my the twins. So my sister has twins, and like they're 5-year-olds, and like when they started saying, "Are you serious? That is ridiculous." I'm like, you are fine. Right. What is serious and ridiculous?
It's like at every level. Like, don't let them start reading, because once they start, then you can't even. They
can't
really
even spell.
I've been trying to lean in on speaking Amharic, the native language of Ethiopia, or one of them, and I'm like, I need to speak in code because you guys understand everything, and we'll have an opinion on everything.
Oh my God! So it looks like as we are wrapping up, What are some of the things that you are looking forward to? You know, because we'll talk a little bit more. This is just a teaser of when we actually have you on J in Transit for a full episode. And that's probably going to be a series.
Yeah, I can't wait.
There's a few things that we're going to, have to break down.
Yeah.
But, last quarter, 2025, I know that your divorce, is it an official divorce?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The official divorce was just this year.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you're looking for as you come to a close in 2025?
Just again, gratitude that it's September going into October, and it's been an amazing year. Like no matter what's happening, you have to pick joy, and that's an action every single day.
Okay.
Even with my kids, I wake up and I'm like, hey, it's gonna be a great day today.
Actually, you said that to me too.
I see. Awesome things are gonna happen to you today.
Yes, you did. You were like,
I got that from Mel Robbins.
We have experts.
That we're, but I'm just looking forward to a new version of me, you're always recreating. And again, sometimes no matter how painful change is, it really forces you to grow, and it forces you to re-examine, and it forces you to remember who you were, who you are.
Yes, girl, and don't you worry, we're here for it. If you do not remember, we will remind you.
Exactly, correct. So I'm grateful.
Good. Well, I'm excited. I know it's going to be a long journey. I want you to plug your podcast one more time, the organization.
Please follow Speaking of Kids, a podcast hosted by First Focus on Children.
Awesome. And you can find me at J in Transit. So that's J like juice, in, and then transit. Because, we're always in transition.
Always.
We're going to have some awesome topics coming up. Well, we will also include some experts to help break down some of the more difficult topics that we are definitely not expert in. But all in all, it is to continue to create community and have those tough conversations that we as women of color, moms, TTs are not hearing in other spaces.
No, we need to have these conversations.
Absolutely.
For our sanity.
Girl.
And for the kids, for the children.
That is always the hope for me.
For the children.
That, we're leaving something behind for the kids. So listen, the kids,
even if it's nuggets of knowledge.
That's true.
Something, lessons.
Wonderful.
Or wealth.
So any shout outs you want to give before we come to an end?
Shout out to you. Shout out to Rare Form. In Rare Form. Shout out to CBC 54.
Yes, CBC 54. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to doing a lot more of this in the future. And yes, one more shout out to CBC 54 and In Rare Form.